You are not feeling this alone. This odd sensation. You cannot understand the unexpected warmth in your chest. That item that appears unexpectedly in the middle of the night. The tightness that appears when you least expect it. You wake up thinking about someone and ask, why now? Why does this person's name keep coming back to you like an unwelcome whisper? You convince yourself it's merely longing, a memory, or your heart playing tricks. But it isn't, because that individual is also experiencing it right now. And when you believe you are bearing this burden alone, God is moving. Both of you. This isn't a coincidence. This is God at work. That individual feels it as well. They also wake up in the middle of the night thinking about you. When they hear that tune, they stop all they are doing. They also glance at their phone and consider calling out. However, fear still keeps them back. And although you both believe you're alone in your feelings, God is working behind the scenes. He is linking your hearts in the spiritual realm, before linking them in the physical world. Because when God unites two hearts, He never forgets. He does not forsake what He has started. And if you're experiencing this right now, it's because He's moving something you can't see yet. However, both that individual and you can sense it. Perhaps you have prayed for this individual, wondering whether God still remembers. He remembers, and He is behaving right now. Because genuine love doesn't only exist in recollection. It dwells in the Spirit. And when two souls were written into the same heavenly blueprint, they stayed linked even in silence. Even at a distance. You are not imagining this. You are not manufacturing illusions. What you're feeling is real. It is spiritual. It is sacrosanct. And it's been shared. Because God does not allow you to feel anything alone when His purpose requires another person. He allows both to experience it. He informs both of them even without using words. Something profound is happening right now. Something the rest of the world does not comprehend. However, the heart recognizes quickly. When one soul begins to move, the other follows suit. It is a magic. It's not a case of imagination. It is how God operates. He works with mirrors. What happens to one heart, He reflects about the other. And if you're experiencing inner restlessness, heavenly uneasiness, or desire that won't leave you alone, it's because that person is feeling it as well. Perhaps they don't have the language to articulate it yet. Perhaps they are still struggling against pride, against fear, against uncertainty. However, the heart is not silent. God is tearing down the obstacles one by one. You may be thinking, why now? Why am I experiencing this right now? And the solution is simple yet deep. Because God permits one of you to awaken first. Someone needs to hold the faith while the other is still processing. Someone needs to believe in the promise while the other is still healing. And if you're feeling this, if you're here now, it's because God chose you to be the anchor. You're the one who will keep hope alive while that person still finds their way back. And that's not weakness. That's purpose. That's you being used by God for something greater. And maybe right now, that person is starting to feel the same thing. God speaks in ways the world doesn't understand. He doesn't need text messages. He doesn't need phone calls. He speaks through the peace that invades your chest without warning. He speaks through the dream. You had a dawn that made you wake up with your heart racing. He speaks through that song that started playing on the radio and made you stop everything you were doing. These aren't random events. These are messages. They're confirmations that something is moving in the spiritual realm. And when you feel it, that person is feeling it too. Maybe in a different way. Maybe still confused. But the heart is hearing the same voice. Yours is hearing God's voice saying the time is coming. Have you noticed how certain moments seem to carry a different weight? Like the air gets thicker, fuller of meaning. It's because in those moments, the veil between the spiritual and physical world gets thinner. And God allows you to feel what's happening on the other side. He allows you to perceive the invisible movement that's preparing the reunion. And if you've been paying attention, you must have noticed the signs. Small, subtle, but consistent. A song, a place, a word, a feeling. And every time this happens, it's not memory. It's God showing you that He hasn't forgotten, that the story isn't over yet. And here's the part you didn't know God was doing while you thought you were waiting alone. He was working on both of you while you thought silence was abandonment. He was preparing hearts. Because God never brings someone back to repeat the same pain. He doesn't rebuild relationships so they'll fail again. He restores them to be eternal. And that requires time. That requires transformation. That requires both of you to go through the fire and come out purified. And now, after all this time, after all these tears, after all these nights of prayer, you're almost ready. And what you're feeling now is the sign that God is finishing the work. You thought it was just you missing them, but that person misses you too. You thought it was just you waking up in the middle of the night with your heart aching, but that person is waking up to you. Thought it was just you looking at your phone, waiting for a message, but that person is looking. To the difference is that God is working in His perfect timing in each of you. And when He's done, when you're both ready, there will be no more hesitation, no more fear, no more doubt, because you will both have been transformed. And what was fragile will now be strong. What was confused will now be clear. And the love that seemed lost will return deeper than ever. There's a powerful truth that few understand. True love doesn't die when two people drift apart. It just changes form. It withdraws, protects itself. Waits like a seed buried in winter that seems dead but is just sleeping, gathering strength for spring. And when God decides it's time, He waters that seed. He brings the light. He warms the earth. And what was asleep begins to awaken. And you feel it? You feel the underground movement. Life returning, strength growing. And what you feel is an illusion. It's life. It's God saying now. It's now. The Bible says there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. And your time is coming. You might not see it yet, but God is seeing it. And He's orchestrating every detail, every encounter, every word that will be spoken, every look that would be exchanged. Because when God restores, He doesn't do it halfway. He does it completely. He does it perfectly. He does it eternally. And what you're feeling now, this mixture of longing with hope, of pain with peace, is the sign that restoration has already begun in the invisible, in the spiritual. And soon, very soon, it will manifest in the visible. I know this waiting has been hard. I know there are nights when you wonder if it's really worth continuing to believe, if this love will actually come back, if God is really taking care of all this. And it's precisely in those moments of doubt that the heart needs direction the most. If you feel you're ready to stop just waiting and start truly preparing yourself to heal the wounds that still hold you in the past, to strengthen the self-love that is the foundation of everything, to align your heart with the divine plan God has for your love life, then there's something I've prepared especially for you, a clear path step by step, so you can not only recognize true love when it comes. When God is silent, He's never absent. He's working. He's moving mountains you can't see. He's breaking chains that bound you both. He's healing wounds that needed to be healed before the reunion. And while you wait, or rather, while you prepare, something beautiful is happening. You're becoming the person God always wanted you to be. You're maturing. You're growing. You're learning to trust Him, not circumstances. And when that person comes back, you won't be that insecure person from the past anymore. You'll be complete, and that person will recognize the difference. And that will change everything. And maybe right now that person is thinking about you. Maybe they're looking at an old photo and their heart is aching. Every moment of solitude, every night of prayer, every time you chose to forgive instead of holding a grudge, is preparing you to receive what God has for you. And when it comes, you'll be ready. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. Because what God is preparing isn't just a relationship. It's a ministry. It's a testimony. It's a story that will inspire other people to trust Him too. The Bible says that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him. And that includes pain, that includes separation, that includes the time of silence. Because God was using all of this to work in both of you, to break what needed to be broken, to heal what needed to be healed, to mature what needed to mature. And now, after this whole process, you're not the same anymore. You're better. You're stronger. You're wiser. And the love you'll build this time won't be based on illusion. It will be based on truth, on God. And that's indestructible. If you feel the time has come to stop just believing and start moving toward the love God prepared for you, this guide, How to Attract and Recognize True Love, is your next step. It will show you how to heal the wounds that still hold you back, how to cultivate true self-love, and how to completely align yourself with God's divine plan for your love life. Your heart already knows if it's meant for you, and now you need to do one thing: rest. Rest in the certainty that God is in control. Rest in the promise that He never abandons what He starts. Rest in the peace of knowing that what yours He will bring back. Because the more you try to control, the more you delay His plan. But the more you trust, the faster He acts. And this isn't passivity. This is faith. It's spiritual wisdom. It's understanding that the battle isn't yours. The battle is the Lord's. And He's already won. He's already secured the victory. You just need to wait for the moment of manifestation. And that moment is coming closer than you imagine. You think it's over, but heaven is still writing the story. You think you lost, but God is restoring. You think too much time has passed, but for God, time is just a tool. And He's using this time to shape something eternal, something that won't break at the first difficulty, something that will withstand any storm. Because when God restores, He doesn't fix. He recreates. He transforms. And what He's doing with the two of you is so deep, so complete, so divine that when it happens, the whole world will see His hand. And you will know without a shadow of doubt that it was God who did it, not you Him. So take a deep breath, calm your heart, and know that what you're feeling is proof that God is moving. You're not alone in this feeling. That person is feeling it too. Maybe confused, maybe resisting, but feeling it because God is working on both of you. And when He's finished, there will be no more doubts, no more fear, no more separation. And there will only be love. True love, mature love, eternal love. And you look at that person and you'll know this is God's promise fulfilled. This is His plan manifesting. And it was all worth it. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of waiting, everything. The waiting wasn't wasted. God was shaping both of you. And when it happens, when your eyes meet again, you'll understand that His promise never failed. Because what God joins together, nothing separates. What He begins, He finishes. And what He promised, He fulfills, always has, always will. So rest, trust, and know that the best is yet to come. Because God doesn't bring people back to repeat old pains. He restores them to fulfill the promise. And your promise is about to be fulfilled. Now, very soon, in God's perfect timing, if this content has made a difference in your journey, and if you believe it deserves to reach more people, you can support this channel in a very simple way. Just click the thanks button below this video and make a donation. Any contribution, no matter how small, helps so much to keep this space alive. And even if you can't right now, your presence here is already an immense gift. Grateful to have you here, and